Senator Marsha Blackburn, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Veterans Affairs Committee, and Finance Committee, and she's also running for governor of Tennessee. Senator, such a pleasure to have you. I know things are getting heated, but the latest comments out of Schumer is that every day it gets better for us. Doesn't sound like it's better for workers who are furloughed, who won't be getting paid.
You're right about that. And there are some of us that are pushing to go ahead today and make certain that we pass something that guarantees payment for our military men and women and our operations, military operations. It is an imperative to do that. But here's what we need to know. The Schumer shutdown, he's been planning for this. He's had a war room set up for about 3 months. All of that became public, and I think it really kind of upset him a little bit that, yes, indeed, it is the Schumer shutdown. The other thing to bear in mind is the Democrats want to run this until October 18th. Now, that is the day that they are having the No Kings rally, a huge rally in D.C. And, of course, I think it kind of spoiled their plans a little bit when some Democrats started to talk about, well, the shutdown had to last through the No Kings rally on October 18th, because you've got Chuck Schumer and some of the leftists that want to get on the stage and throw their fist in the air that they're opposing Donald Trump, and they've shut down the government, and they're trying to preserve this, that, and the other, when indeed what they're doing is keeping people from getting the benefits that they would get. So, you know, it is
terrible optics.
Yes.
And we'll be watching for that. I heard that in Austin they might be doing a rally using taxpayer-funded money on some of the permitting. It is outrageous what we're seeing in the streets, and I'd like to talk to you about that. There's one thing about peaceful protests, but what we are seeing is just complete anarchy in places like Portland. A lot of it is also at ICE facilities. We know in Tennessee, you've seen the National Guard there. Trump was holding a roundtable on Antifa, but he talked about Memphis, who has been dealing with crime, and this was his comment about helping the people who live there.
Now we're in Memphis. As you know, we're having a great impact in Memphis. It's been only a week, but it's, Cash, I hear it's been amazing what's happening there just very early. Where we were asked to go by the mayor and by the governor, and it's really incredible what we can do and how fast we can do it.
Without the legacy media's help, The Atlantic actually had the nerve to write a piece saying it's not Antifa, it's more like Burning Man. How do you combat the messaging when so many outlets are in that echo chamber and they're not really talking about what's happening on the ground, be it Memphis, Chicago, Portland?
And Memphis is such a positive story. In mid-July, the FBI started an operation there. They apprehended 503 gang members by the time we got through the first week of September. Now, think about that. So then we do a phase 2, which is 13 federal agencies on the ground with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and the National Guard that is going in there today, all to back up the Memphis Police Department so they can do these apprehensions. And they apprehended 324 additional criminals in 5 days. 324.
That's the story.
Yes, and the mayor, the police chief, everybody working together. And Bianca, they even rescued 8 missing children. 8 missing children. Children that being trafficked.
The most vulnerable, right?
Yes.
You know, it's such a sad state of affairs, and we know so many people are on the ground there talking about how they have had to live under the leftist policies. In our final moments, just want to ask you, what's going to happen to Jack Smith? We had this story that broke about him surveilling your phone, other senators' phones on January 6th probe. I talked to Senator Tuberville. He'd like to see a way that he loses his license disbarred. Is there any legal action you can take, Senator Blackburn, against this fishing expedition that you are brought into?
Absolutely, there were the 8 of us, and indeed, after President Trump was indicted in August of 23, then a few weeks later, they started in surveilling the 8 of us. The commonality there is that we are all Republicans. We back President Trump, and we had valid questions about the 2020 election. Now, what we are doing is pulling together how we go about holding Jack Smith accountable for this. And I will say Kash Patel moved forward and fired every person in this CR-15 unit that worked with Jack Smith that did this. I am composing a letter now. It's a start for it's a complaint letter to the D.C. bar. Jack Smith should be disbarred. Anyone who was a licensed attorney in this CR-15 unit should also be disbarred, and they should be
Please
held
keep
to
us
the
posted on
full-
that then.
We will, because it is illegal, and it is spying on U.S. senators, and it is illegal, and they will be held to account.
Well, we'll be watching that very closely. Again, who's the threat to democracy? When you hear stories like this, and Americans know it and they see it. Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, thank you for stopping by today.